you know, the policy is if your street's being redone, you don't want a tree in front of your house, well, we don't put one there. I kind of disagree with that. I kind of feel like, you know what, if that, you know, if it's a town property, and to maintain the integrity of the streets and you know, and the, you know, the canopy, I think that we put one there. Regardless, if anybody wants a tree in front of their house, all they have to do is call up. We're more than prepared. We're more than prepared to put a tree. If we could fit 2 there, we'll put 2 trees there. Sometimes you'd be surprised. Residents just don't want a tree in front of their house. Like I said, I don't necessarily, if I agree with the policy of not putting one there if they don't want one, because it is a public, you know, right away, and I think that we should have one anywhere.
I think the council can direct the Department of Public or the manager if they want a change in policy.
Yeah, in a specific spot. But I think that's, I mean, that's something we certainly have to look into. But but once again, if any resident, and I think we had the bit of the, you know, learned lesson from the last 10 or 15 years ago with the previous trees that we were putting in that we've been starting to get away with, because we all know, you know, they grew low, they're not very strong. I think they only have a life of maybe 10 to 15 years. We've already begun to change that. And as a result of anybody, I mean, we all live in the same streets. I live in a Forest Avenue quadrant, and we all know the impact of a neighborhood when the trees get taken down. And that's why, you know, a while back, the council's, as directed, you know, Jim held that when we do replace trees, and let's replace them with ones with a bigger caliper and not ones that are going to take 50 years to grow. I mean, we've already begun to do that. So, and just to echo what Mr. Martin said, you know, it wasn't a perfect process, and I think that we certainly learned some lessons from Morningside Avenue, and there's no doubt that we need to fine-tune this process, and we've already talked about things of having Shade Tree Commission go to the neighborhood meetings with Jim Helb, so when they're doing those resident meetings, that Shade Tree is there. So, and that's just one of the things that we worked on, and I know everyone out there has their own idea on the process, and we're certainly going to listen. You have an advocate with all of us up here, and like I said, it's not something that's always on your radar, but when something goes wrong, you turn around like, well, we certainly do need to improve the process. You certainly have valid points, and we are going to work to improve them.